Hello and welcome. My name is Fiona, and this is your 60-minute backbending focused rocket beats class. If you're not familiar with rocket beats quite yet, it is inspired in rocket yoga, perhaps just a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more fast paced. You don't have to be an advanced yoga or yogi for this class. All you need to be is curious and open-minded, and kind of allowing the practice in itself to actually surprise you. When you're ready, slowly make your way towards your mat. You can find a cross-legged seated position or onto the shins. Just taking a moment to truly arrive into the space. Once you make your way towards the mat, you can close down the eyes, perhaps even gently resting the hands onto your knees. And just begin by taking a few long, deep breaths here. Allowing your breath to be what perhaps even gives you a little bit of an indication as to how you feel today, what perhaps came before this class, what maybe comes after it. And you're kind of setting the stage for the next 60 minutes or so to fully be here, to fully be present, to be curious, to move around, to be playful, knowing that whatever may have come before, perhaps whatever comes after, can wait. There's absolutely no need for you to do absolutely anything except for breathing. And yes, we may go through quite a few crazy or quote unquote crazy postures today. But most importantly, I invite you to just set aside the time and the space for you to breathe, knowing that the postures are purely a distraction from what is really important. We are finding this space to connect with our breath, to connect with our bodies. And in a way, the stillness and the focus of our minds, whether it is seated in Sukhasana, a cross-legged seated position, or standing upside down on our hands, the focus always remains the same. That dharana, that concentration that leads to the dhyana, the meditation in this practice. Perhaps as you slowly start to find that your mind begins to settle, you can start to give your breath a little bit of sound. If you practice ujjayi, it's that slight constriction of the breath at the back of the throat. It's almost as if you were going to fog up a mirror, but you're actually keeping the mouth closed, leading to that ocean-like sound. And when you're ready, let's slowly start to breathe together. Come to empty, exhale all of your breath out. Let's take a long, deep breath in with sound. Hold the breath at the very top. Perhaps you sip in a little bit more breath. And exhale, you can sigh out through the mouth. Let it go. Deep breath in with sound. Holding the breath at the top. Sip in a little bit more breath. Hold. Sip in a little bit more breath. And exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Deep breath in with sound. Keeping the mouth closed, exhaling with sound. Deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. One more deep breath in. And exhale, deep breath out. To blink over the eyes, roll over the shins, find your way towards a child's pose. Taking the hips towards the heels, bring the hands out in front. And start actively pushing the palms of the hands down towards the floor. And then slowly from there, start rippling forwards through the spine. Find a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under, take the hips up and back, exhaling. Perhaps once you get into your downward facing dog, you start pedaling out through the feet. Finding nice gentle movement into your body. Again, there's no specific way into how you should be moving here. It's just, again, it really is your practice and you're finding your own variations inside a lead class. When you're ready, start to come to stillness. Find your downward facing dog. Next inhale, come forwards, find a high plank. Exhaling, hold here. Really round through the upper parts of the shoulders. Tuck the tailbone under. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing. Again, inhale, ripple forwards through the spine. Exhale to take the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forwards. This time lower yourself all the way down towards the floor in a straight long line. On the inhale, lift through the chest, find your cobra. On the exhale, pick up the hands and keep the hands just hovering underneath the shoulders, maybe even squeezing the elbows in towards each other. On the next deep breath in, lift the legs up off the floor, whole back body's engaged. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, find a high plank, push into the hands, draw the navel in, straight long line. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Little pause between postures. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, roll forwards through the spine. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down towards the floor. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, pick up the hands. Again, squeeze the elbows, whole back body is engaged. Lift the feet off the floor. 3 breaths is time for 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Exhale, lower down. Navel in towards the spine. High plank, inhale. Lower down, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Bring the gaze forwards between the hands. Start tiptoeing your weight all the way forwards. Perhaps even bringing the feet between the hands at the top of the mat. Lengthen, inhale halfway, maybe hands onto the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Totally fine to bend the knees. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands through heart center. Find your mountain pose. Samasthiti. 3 breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in 3. Exhale with sound. On the next inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Have fun. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Uttanasana. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to plant the hands. Step it back. High plank. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths for 1. Exhale. We push into the hands, wrap the biceps in, triceps down. 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Exhaling. On the next inhale, come forwards, high plank. For me, back bends also mean quite a lot of work into the core, into the shoulders. You want to try your best to find all of that stability. Draw the navel in. Take 2 more breaths for 1. Exhaling. Deep breath in 2. Exhale 2. Next inhale, come over towards the right blade. Take the left hand up towards the sky. Maybe even reach the left hand forward. So you're really pushing the hips up towards the sky. Stack that left hip over the right. 3 breaths. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. One more deep breath in for 3. Exhale, switching sides, left hand down, right hand up towards the sky. Again, push the hips up, reach the right hand forwards. 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. One more deep breath in for 3. And exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Straight away, gaze comes forwards. Step or float, come top of the mat. Lengthening, inhale halfway. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Again, forward folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, plant the hands, step, float it back. This time we arrive, bent elbows, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. One more deep breath in 3. Exhaling. Inhale, come forwards, find a high plank. This time roll over towards the left side. Take the right hand up towards the sky, so it's switch sides. Take the right hand up and over. And then perhaps maybe even start lifting and squeezing the left knee in towards the chest. You can also kick the left leg forwards. It's almost like a fallen triangle. We just got there weird. 2 more breaths for 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale, switching sides. Right hand down, left hand up. Either you stay here reaching the left hand up and forwards, or you start kicking that right leg towards that, left side. 2 more breaths for 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. And exhale, come down, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Straight away, gaze comes forwards. Step or float, come top of the mat. Lengthen. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Plant the hands down. Maybe you start leaning a little bit of weight into the hands. Step or float, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way forwards. This time you hold your plank, or you take it long plank. So you bring the hands out in front. So instead of actually bringing the bum up towards the sky, try and tuck the tailbone under. Try and draw the navel in. 3 breaths for 1. 2. Exhaling sound. Breath in 3. Exhale, lower down onto the forearms. Take it into a forearm plank for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Exhale, lower the hips down towards the floor. Deserved rest, Sphinx pose, 3 breaths. In a Sphinx pose, you're trying your best to drag the chest forwards. Release into the lower spine. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. 2 more breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Exhale. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, lower down. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in to prepare, bend the knees. Step or float, come top of the mat. Lengthen, inhale. Fold, exhale. Come all the way up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Straight into our B's. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, reach through the hands. Exhale, lower the bum down towards the floor, the feet up towards the sky. Take it Navasana, 3 deep breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in 3. Exhale, lower down, low boat, Ardha Navasana, maybe even reaching the hands back behind you. Draw the navel in, 3 breaths, 1. Exhaling. The shake's not real, 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in for 3. And exhale. Inhale, Navasana. You can bend the knees. Exhale, roll onto the shoulders. We're coming back through an Utkatasana, chair pose without the hands. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, plant the hands, step foot, lean into the hands. Maybe taking it through a handstand, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Take the knee a little higher on the inhale. Exhale, knee to nose and hold. Exhale. Take the knee a little higher, inhale. Exhale, step the foot forwards between the hands. Take it into a high lunge, inhale. Lower that back left knee down to hover. Exhale. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Step or float it back. Inhale, upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Take the knee a little higher, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose and hold. Inhale, draw the knee a little closer to the chest. And exhale, step the foot forwards between the hands. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, lower that right knee down to hover. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. Step or float it back. Probably feeling quite warm by now. Pull the shoulders back. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths for 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in 3. Exhale. Inhale, come forwards, high plank. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down towards the floor. Interlace the hands behind your back on the next inhale. Lift the chest off the floor, lift the legs off the floor. Whole back body's engaged for 1. Exhaling. Breath in 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in 3. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, high plank, draw the navel in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Draw the gaze forwards between the hands. Step or float. Come top of the mat. Lengthening inhale. Fold, exhale. Round 2, inhale, chair pose, bend the knees. Reach through the hands. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float it back. Your transition. We meet chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Take the knee a little higher, inhale. And either you stay here, you shift the weight forwards and step the right foot behind the left knee. Take it into a wild thing. 3 deep breaths. Really engaging the backs of the legs, lifting through the hips. Maybe even reaching the right hand back behind you. Take 1 more deep breath in. Exhale to bring the right hand towards the top of the mat. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, round through the spine. Take the knee a little higher, inhale. And exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. High lunge, inhale. Lower that back left knee down to hover and hold, exhaling. In this position, you're trying your best to tuck the tailbone under. Squeeze the lower rib cage in and reach through the hands. 2 more breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. Inhale, high lunge. Exhaling, chaturanga. Maybe even floating that right foot off the floor. Inhale, upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Take the knee a little higher. And exhale, step the left foot behind the right knee if you took it on the first side. Wild thing. 3 deep breaths for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in 3. And exhale, come round. Left leg lifts, deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Take the knee a little higher, inhale. And exhale, step the foot forwards between the hands. High lunge, inhale. Lower that back right knee down to hover, exhaling. Again, 90-90 with the knees. Tucking the tailbone under. 1 more deep breath in. Inhale, high lunge. Exhaling, chaturanga. Step or float it back. Beautiful. Inhale, upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards. High plank, inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down towards the floor. This time you're going to take the hands out in front of you. If you have a block, I unfortunately do not today. You can always bring a block between the palms of the hands. Lower the head down towards the floor. And then keeping everything on the floor, we're going to lift the hands an inch or a couple inches off of the mat, squeezing those biceps next to the ears. Inhale to lift. Exhale to hold. Deep breath in 1. Breath in 2. Last breath in for 3. And exhale, lower down. Hands underneath the shoulders. High plank, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in to prepare, bend the knees. Step or float. Come top of the mat. Lengthen. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, find your chair pose 1 last time. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Inhale to lengthen, plant the hands. And exhale, step, float, fly. Find chaturanga. Inhale, upwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Knee a little higher, inhale. And exhale to option 1, take it wild thing. So stepping the right foot behind you. Option 2, you take it to a floating wild thing. So instead of actually placing the right foot down towards the floor, you try your best to squeeze that right heel in towards the left bum cheek. 2 more breaths for 1. Exhale. 1 more deep breath in, 2. And exhale, bring the right hand down. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. And exhale, step the foot forwards. Take it into a high lunge, inhale. Exhale, lower the left knee down, all the way down towards the floor this time. Option 1, you work your low lunge. Option 2, that left elbow is going to come behind you. You can either take, half Gomukhasana arms or full bind, right arm comes behind you. If you're taking the bind, maybe you start leaning over towards the right side so you find a really nice stretch into your left side body. Whole time, tailbone's tucked under, the lower rib cage is drawing in. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center, release the hands, and straighten out that right leg, take it into a half splits. Straighten out the leg, push the right heel down towards the floor. And you're trying your best to melt the chest down towards the mat. Option to stay there. Option 2, you start leaning the weight forwards into that right leg, maybe even starting to lift the left leg up towards the sky, take it into your variation of a standing splits. Either taking hold of that right ankle, maybe even drawing the arms behind you, taking the elbows to meet. Option 2, you can, if you have a safe inversion practice or you have a wall, you can lean the weight into the hands, take it upside down into your handstand. Maybe even bringing the legs together. You have 2 more breaths for 1. And 2. We eventually meet chaturanga, stepping or floating back. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Take the knee a little higher. And maybe exhale, set the foot behind you or taking into a floating wild thing. Squeezing the left heel in for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. This one's definitely a little trickier on the balance. 1 more deep breath in 3. And then exhale, left hand down towards the floor. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot forwards between the hands. High lunge, inhale. And lower that right knee down all the way down towards the floor this time. If you took the bind on the first side, maybe you bend up the right elbow, taking hold with the left hand, or you take full Gomukhasana kind of bind. Again, no flaring of the ribs. Try and draw the lower rib cage in, tuck the tailbone under, and then reach over towards the left side. Take 1 more deep breath in. Inhale back to center. Releasing the hands. Take it half split, straightening out that left leg, bump the hips back. If the hands don't come down towards the floor, always fine to take the hands onto bricks. And you're trying your best to push the left heel down and melt yourself over that left leg. Wherever you are, take 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. From there, slowly come forwards, lean weight into that left leg, and start taking the right leg up towards the sky. Standing splits. Option to stay here, option to take hold of the left ankle. Option to stay there, option to take hands forwards. It could also just mean that you're leaning weight into the hands and trying your best to push the floor away from you. If you are leaning weight forwards, maybe you take 1 leg up towards the sky. Maybe you take up 2. Leaning and pushing. 2 more breaths for 1. And for 2. Float it back, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here for 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. 1 more deep breath in for 3. Bend the knees. Step or float. Come top of the mat. Lengthen. Forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, find your chair pose. And straight away, take a twist. Left elbow comes onto the outsides of the right knee. Hands come in towards the heart center. Option to stay there. Option 2, you start extending the left hand down, right hand up towards the sky. 2 more breaths. 1. Whole time that left hip is pulling back. Option to stay here. Option 2, take hold of the outer blade of the right foot. You lean over towards the left side and come all the way up to stand. Maybe straightening out that right leg, maybe reaching that right hand back behind you. Doesn't really matter if this front or this right leg is actually straight. Most importantly, you're straightening out through the left leg, finding a nice long line from the crown of the head towards that left heel. 1 more deep breath in. On the exhale, let it go. Move through a warrior 3, maybe even bringing the hands in towards the heart. From a warrior 3, we're taking it into a reverse Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand comes down, maybe on a block, and the left hand reaches up towards the sky. 3 breaths for 1. Breath in 2. 1 more deep breath in 3. And then exhale, come back. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees, reach through the hands. Exhale, take a twist over towards the opposite side. Right elbow, left thigh. Again, option to stay here, option to open out the arms. Just really working into that beautiful wingspan. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. From there, collect the left outer blade of the foot. Lean over towards the right side. Maybe coming all the way, a little wobbly on that side, up to stand. Left leg comes forwards. Left arm reaches back. 2 more breaths for 1. And 2. Slowly let it go, moving through a warrior 3, hands in towards the heart. And then from there, it's left hand down towards the floor, right arm up towards the sky. Twisted side angle for 1. Breath in 2. And 3. Slowly come back to center. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Inhale to lengthen halfway. Option 1, you can rest. Take it into a malasana squat. Or option 2, you can bring the knees high onto the backs of the triceps for Bakasana crow. Leaning weight into the hands, lifting the heels off of the floor. Maybe even starting to straighten out the arms. Taking 2 to 3 deep breaths. Navel in towards the spine. And then we all meet Chaturanga, step or float it back. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, lift the right leg up towards the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, roll that thigh open. Inhale, lift the knee a little higher. Exhale again, step the right foot behind the left knee. Option 1, wild thing, floating wild thing. Option, 4 could be full Urdhva Dhanurasana, starting to step that right hand towards the floor. Whole back body is engaged. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. And slowly from there, take a deep breath in to prepare. Exhale, bring the right hand back down towards the floor. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. And step the foot forward between the hands. Warrior 1, inhale. Holding, exhaling. Navel towards the spine. Tuck the tailbone under, 2. Breath in 3. And exhale, open out wide. Oopsies. Open out wide. Warrior 2. Take 2 more breaths for 1. Breath in 2. Straighten out that right leg for Trikonasana. Maybe close down the stance as you reach the right hand forward. Right hand comes down towards the floor. Left hand reaches up towards the sky. 3 breaths, 1. Breath in 2. 1 more deep breath in for 3. And exhale, slowly bring the right hand down, kind of in front, onto the top right hand corner of the mat. We're taking it half moon. So perhaps you start dragging that left leg up towards the sky. Trying to keep the hips open. The chest is light. Maybe left hand reaches up towards the sky. And so since we're going into the back today, perhaps you start bending into that left heel. And I do encourage you, just bend into that left heel and squeeze it in towards the bum before taking hold of the foot for your Chapasana bind. 3 more breaths for 1. Breath in 2. It's not a dancer's pose. You're definitely kicking the foot behind you for 3. And then exhale, slowly let it go. Take a medium stance towards the back of the mat. We're setting up for reverse Trikonasana. Reach the left hand up towards the sky. Exhale, lean and twist. The hand's coming down, perhaps on a block, perhaps down onto the fingertips. And the right hand's coming up towards the sky. Most importantly, you're really dragging and pulling this right hip back to find a really nice stretch into the IT band, into the backs of the leg. And a nice twist into the upper body. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, bring the right hand down towards the floor onto the insides of the right foot. Step the left leg back, side angle, reach the left hand up and over. 3 breaths, 1. Breath in 2. One more deep breath in for 3. And exhale. Inhale back through your warrior 2. Exhale here. Inhale, pivot forwards, come onto the ball of the left leg. Reach through the hands. Arrow lunge for 3 breaths, 1. Exhale. Breath in 2. Exhaling. One more deep breath in 3. And exhale, take a twist, left elbow onto the outside of the right knee. Hands in towards the heart, 3 breaths. Really straightening out through that back left leg. You kind of light onto those back left toes. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bring both hands down towards the floor. Step it back. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Always the option to take a rest. Option 2, lower the knees down towards the floor. Before moving anywhere else, we'll all take a puppy pose. Perhaps starting to walk the hands out in front, dropping the chest down towards the mat. If you prefer to also keep it active, you can keep the same shape into the arms, but try and round to the upper parts of the spine. Tuck the nail bone under, or the tailbone under, drawing the lower rib cage in, navel in towards the spine. Really actively opening into those shoulders. One more deep breath in. And then exhale to lower the chest down towards the floor. Let's take 3 more breaths here for 1. Breath in 2. One more 3. Slowly from there, bring the hands back. It's a child's pose if you prefer to rest. It's forearms down towards the floor for dolphin if you prefer to keep it active. Perhaps tucking the toes under, walking the feet in, drawing the hips nice and high. Option 1, you can start to draw the chest through, working into the opening into the shoulders. Option 3, you can start taking the right leg up towards the sky. Option 4, you can start leaning the weight forwards into the hands, and maybe even bringing the legs together. Take about 3 more breaths. And from there, we all lower down. Take a rest in a child's pose or seated, closing down the eyes. Coming back to your breath. And slowly from there, let's get back into a downward facing dog. Second side. On the next inhale, take the left leg up. On the exhale, roll that thigh open. Knee in a little higher. And exhale to step that left foot behind the right knee. It's a wild thing, a floating wild thing. Or full Urdhva Dhanurasana, full wheel pose. 3 breaths for 1. Wherever you are, you're really engaging the backs of the legs and really pushing the hips up towards the sky. 2. One more deep breath in. 3. On the exhale, bring the left hand down towards the floor. On the inhale, lift the left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. And step the foot forwards between the hands. Plant the right heel, warrior 1, inhale. Exhale, arrive. 3 breaths. 1. Breath in. 2. One more deep breath in for 3. Exhale to open out wide, warrior 2. Deep stance in the legs for 1. 2. One more deep breath in. 3. For Trikonasana, straighten out that left leg. Maybe close down the stance, reach through the left hand, and then bring the left hand down towards the floor, right hand up towards the sky. Trying your best to find length into your left side body by almost shortening through the right. So how can you kind of make your torso extra long here? One more deep breath in. Use the exhale to bring the gaze down, lean the weight forward into that left leg, and start extending that right leg up towards the sky for your Ardha Chandrasana half moon. Option to stay here. Option 2, you bend into that right heel. Again, really squeeze the heel in towards the bum. And then maybe from there you take hold of your Chapasana bind. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly release. Take a medium stance towards the back of the mat. Make sure those hips are nice and, squared forwards as you reach the right hand up. Inhale. Exhale, reach and twist. Right hand down, left hand up towards the sky. And if you do have access to blocks, I really do encourage you to use them. It doesn't mean that you are not, an advanced yogi, whatever that means. It simply means that we're using these props to help with our alignment, to help us get into a pose. No such thing as a right or wrong body or a right or wrong way of doing things. Take one more deep breath in. On the exhale, bring the left hand down onto the insides of the left foot. Step the right foot back. Reach the right hand forwards. 3 breaths in your side angle. Finding length into your right side body this time for 1. And 1 more. Inhale back through a warrior 2. Exhale here. Pivot round, find an arrow lunge. Really reaching through the hands. 2 more breaths, navel in towards the spine. 1 more. And exhale, take a twist. Right elbow onto the outsides of the left knee. Hands in towards the heart for 1. Breath in 2. 1 more deep breath in 3. And exhale, bring both hands down towards the floor. Step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing dog. Option to take a downward facing dog. Option 2, straight down onto the forearms this time. Second round of dolphin. Option 3, you walk the feet in. Option 4, maybe the left leg leads this time as you slowly step or float it forwards. If you're working your pinch and it's a comfortable place to be, activate the legs, squeeze through the hips and the bum. Maybe from there you start dragging the chest forwards to take it into somewhat of a straight line scorpion. I would encourage you not to go too deep here. Just a little bit of an opening through the fronts of the chest. And from there, bring it back to straight line, the hard part. Then we all meet back into child's pose or seated. Closing down the eyes. And from there, take it back into downward facing dog. Walk the hands towards the back of the mat. Taking your toes with your first 3 peace fingers. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Forward fold, exhale. Taking the head down towards the floor, elbows out towards the sides. Lengthening through the spine. I love these backbendings or backbends, It's so important for us to really find these counter positions. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the whole hand, so toes to wrist creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Totally fine to keep the knees bent here. You will find a straighter leg with time. There's no rush. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the hands. Turn the toes to face out. Lower the bum down towards the mat. Take it into a malasana squat. Hands in towards the heart. It's really working a little bit into the opening of the insides of the hips. I like to sway lightly side to side here. And from there, keeping the left elbow onto the left inner knee. Take hold of the right shin with the left hand. Find a twist. Bring the right hand up towards the sky so you're opening up and over. And then switching sides. Right elbow comes into the inside of the right knee. Extend the left leg up towards the sky. Sorry, left arm. That would be difficult. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly come back to center. We're going to make our way towards the top of the mat. Option 1, you can plant both legs down towards the floor, bring both hands down towards the mat, and take small little steps, bringing the toes towards the wrist creases before stepping the foot down towards the floor. Option 2, maybe you lower the bum down towards the floor. You're going to take small little bunny hops to get towards the top of the mat, planting the hands down towards the floor and trying to squeeze or jump the heels towards the bum. It may look like this, just a small little hop. So you plant the hands, hop. It may also be a little bit higher, leaning and pushing into the hands. Maybe at some point you also hold the position. If you'd like, you can do that a few times. It's one of my personal favorites. Arriving top of the mat, lengthen, inhale. Fold, exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Bring the hands up towards the sky. And exhale, hands through heart center. Bring the hands onto the hips as you step the right foot towards the outsides of the mat. Turn the toes to face in as you puff the chest open. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold for your Prasarita A. Hands are going to come down towards the floor. The wrists are no more than a 90-degree angle. So you just kind of keep them wherever feels comfortable. With time, you can kind of drag the chest down. Bring the head down towards the floor. It's always the option to take it into an inversion. If you'd like to take the head down and the feet up. Once you're ready, inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bring the hands onto the hips. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Bring the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back for Prasarita C. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. 3 breaths. Trying to drop the head down towards the floor. Try and pull the hands away from the neck. And then inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, release the hands underneath the face. Turn the toes to face out. Come into your goddess squat. Bring the hands in towards the heart. And try and drop the hips nice and low. 2 more breaths for 1. Keeping those knees over the ankles. 2. And then slowly from there, bring the hands to face back. So the feet are somewhat still kind of facing open. Hands are going to reach back behind you. And as you drop the bum down towards the floor, you scoot the feet forwards, and maybe from there you momentarily find a moment of lift. Common mistake is to have the legs a little bit too far up the elbows. Once you're all the way down onto the floor, Upavista Konasana, forward folding. Try your best to keep the toes facing up. No need to go too deep. If you actually find that the shoulders are somewhat kind of not moving forwards at all, just bring the hands behind you and puff the chest open here and then lean forwards. One of the poses that I have a huge love-hate relationship for. Believe it or not, I'm not naturally flexible. This is something I've really had to work towards, specifically through strength training. Slowly come back up. Bring the right elbow onto the insides of the right thigh. Open. And take the left hand up and over. Parshva Upavista. If you do take hold of the foot, simply use the foot to pull yourself down a little bit more. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale over towards the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the legs all the way towards the top of the mat. Find a boat pose, Navasana. Onto the sit bones. Maybe even straighten out the legs. 3 deep breaths for 1, 2, and 3. And slowly from there, fold over, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale upwards, and exhale, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, step or float the knees behind the wrists. Bring the heels onto the outsides of the bum or sit on something. So if this is at all uncomfortable for your knees, make sure you sit on a block. From there, we're going to lean back. It's a stretch into the hip flexors. Squeezing the knees down towards the floor, maybe even dropping yourself all the way down towards the mat. There's so much that goes into all of these back bends. It's our core, it's our side bends, all of that mobility into the spine, our hip flexors, believe it or not. And then even strength into the backs of the legs. All connected. Slowly from there, take hold of the heels to pull yourself back up. Any way you'd like, you're going to get back into a chaturanga. Rockety style might be hands frame up the knees. Head comes down towards the floor as long as you can see the fingertips. You straighten out the legs and maybe pike or bring both knees onto the backs of the triceps. Take it into your tripod headstand. And from there, let's pike the legs down halfway. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale upwards. And exhale, downward facing dog. Knees come again behind the wrists for Ustrasana, camel. As you lift yourself all the way up. Now take a few versions of this. So bring the hands onto the lower spine. Wrap the shoulders up, back, and down. Engage the backs of the legs to push the hips forwards. From there, maybe you find a little bit of a back bend, just squeezing through the upper chest and leaning back. If you already back bend quite a bit, you're always welcome to bring the hands onto the heels. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly come back down, hands rest onto the thighs, maybe even opening the arms. So welcoming all of that warm energy. I love back bends. They are so energizing. They make us feel a certain way. You can quite literally feel energetically all of that power that is pulsing through our body. I think the beauty of this practice is that because it is so strong and so dynamic, it really empowers us, not just on the mat, but in so many aspects of life. A lot of times I'll catch myself thinking during class, like, okay, how can I actually transfer this feeling into my real world situations? How can this power, this strength that I cultivate in my practice actually influence other areas of my life? And from there, come back up. This time, instead of actually finding a back bend, you're going to reach the hands forwards, engage the backs of the legs, remove any sort of back bend, and then you're going to lean back to find strength into the quads, and then come back. Let's do that 2 more times, leaning back as far as you can, and come back. This last time, we're going to lean back and hold, really engage the backs of the legs, maybe even lower down a little bit more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back, lower down, close down the eyes, right hand over the left. We have 1 more back bend here. Option to take the same version, hands onto the lower parts of the spine. Option to take the hands onto the heels. Option 3, you can also start taking the heels from a seated position and start pushing the hips forwards to come straight into your camel. Three more breaths. And then slowly lower down. You can take a child's pose from here, drop the head down towards the floor. And if you practice camel dropbacks, you can also meet us there. If you don't, come with me. We find our high plank inhale, chaturanga exhale. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze comes forwards between the hands, step or float. Come all the way to seated and lower yourself all the way down towards the floor. About 2 more back bends left. Hands come out towards the sides. Option 1, you can take it into a bridge pose, interlacing the hands behind your back. You can also take it into a restorative bridge, so kind of bringing a block onto the lower parts of the sacrum. Option 2, it's straight into a back bend. Wheel pose, we're pretty warm by now. It's engaging the backs of the legs, pushing the weight into the hands. If you'd like to stand up from there, you can stand up. If not, momentarily come down towards the floor. Hands coming towards the third eye in prayer. Maybe you can drop the knees in towards each other. We have 1 last and final back bend left. Option 6, the same variation you did on the first time. Option 2, hands come behind you. Full bridge pose. If you'd like, you can start working the forearms down towards the floor. Wherever you are, you go with breath. Eventually, we all meet all the way down onto the floor, onto our backs. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Extend the left leg long. And right leg takes a twist. Draw that the right leg over towards the left side. Gaze over towards the right hand. Decompressing our spine. Back to center. Hug both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze, maybe even massaging the lower parts of the spine. And extend the right leg long. And bring the left leg up towards the right side. And then go back to center. Both knees in towards the chest. Hug the legs in. Then rock up and down the lengths of your spine. Arriving in a seated forward fold. Paschimottanasana. You can make this as active or as passive as you would like. And slowly from there, roll all the way back down onto your back. Take the legs up and back behind you for plow. Interlace the hands behind your back. Push the palms of the hands down towards the floor. Maybe even bringing the tips of the toes or tops of the feet down towards the floor. If you prefer to take a shoulder stand, you also can. I really want to focus on decompressing through the spine, so perhaps I start bending the knees, taking Karna Pindasana, bringing the knees either side of the ears. And then from there, slowly starting to let go and lowering myself all the way down towards the floor. Last pose, bring the hands underneath the hips. Lift yourself up onto the forearms, point the toes for fish. And when you're ready, slowly start to make your way down, finding your final Shavasana.
Absolutely nothing left you have to do. You can simply allow the body to fall heavy. Allow the physical practice to fully be absorbed into your body and into your mind. Slowly from there, start reawakening your body, bringing the mind, your thoughts back to the physical room.
Maybe starting to hug the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself one last squeeze. To encourage you to try your best to keep the eyes closed for the remaining of class. And slowly from there, let's rock back up to seated top of the mat. Hands can come onto the knees or in towards the heart center. Just taking one last and final moment to acknowledge how you feel, what is perhaps different to when we first stepped on the mat. How has this practice changed us, and in many ways, how can we carry yoga off of the mat and into the real world where it really matters? So always remember that the physical practice is a very small component of all of this, or this practice, and what this practice gives back to us. From there, bring the hands in towards the third eye. As you bow the head down towards the hands, give yourself a moment to thank yourself for practicing, setting aside the time to be here, maybe even sticking it out to the end. And always remind yourself that you're so much stronger than you think. Jai, thank you so much for letting me guide you today.